Hey guys, so this section we are going to review financial management. We're going to talk about budgeting, estimates, what can you expect to advertise and to kind of have at our disposal. How can we make sure we're saving enough? How can we budget enough? And ultimately, like, what should we be expecting? What can we use to manage our finances? What's Shopify Capital all about? What's loans all about? How do we get started, right? All those questions. My goal is going to be to answer them. So let's talk about a low-end budget and a high-end budget, right? So let's say first category, inventory, right? So, okay, Spencer, I want to save as much money as possible. I want to go print on demand. Done. End of story. Okay, next. Advertising. Spencer, I want to do everything organically and I don't want to advertise a dime. No problem. Spencer, I am going to shoot content myself and with a couple friends, they're going to do it for free and, it's going to be nice and easy. Okay. LLC, this is going to cost a couple $100. Let's just say 300. I think it's lower, but let's just be a little conservative. Now, we need Shopify. Spencer, I'm going to start with the $1 plan and I'm not going to download any apps. Okay. Easy. Designs. Spencer, I'm going to do these all myself. I'm going to use Canva. Okay, that's going to be $15 a month. Great. Spencer, I'm not going to use an agency. I'm going to bootstrap it and do everything myself. No problem. Spencer, I am going to spend no money on anything other than that. Great. So, total. What does that come out to? Essentially, $300, right? That is the lowest possible end that you can do. Lowest possible end. Now, mind you, these come with costs too. Your time, your energy, your efforts, and ultimately the quality, right? Is the quality still going to be there of your designs, of your products, of your marketing? Probably not. However, if you're an expert at advertising and marketing and content, you can get away with it, right? No problem. Now, let's talk about, okay, Spencer, I'm in a different situation. Inventory, well, I don't want to do POD. Let's say I want to start with 2 shirts. They're going to cost me about $12 each, right? And I want to order, I want to order 30, right? I want to order 30 shirts and maybe a hat, right? So I'm going to get 30 shirts for $12 each. That's going to be about $360. And then I want to throw in, 15 hats for $15, right? And so what does that come out to? Essentially, that's around, let's call it, just to be conservative, $585, but let's call it $600, okay? Just to be safe. Now, Spencer, I want to advertise. I really want to push this, but I don't want to spend a fortune, but I want to get it out there, okay? I would say, $500 is still conservative. I'll actually do mid-tier. I'll do low tier. I'm going to change this actually, and high tier, right? We have a lot to spend. We don't have a lot to spend. We have a mid amount to spend, okay? Content. Spencer, I'm going to hire my photographer. He's about $300. All the models are free. Easy, done, end of story. Great. The LLC, same price. Shopify, I'm going to pay for the thing and I'm going to get the apps. Let's just call it 100. It'll be less, but I just want to be conservative. Design. Spencer, I'm an okay designer, but I really want to hire a professional. I want to get it done the right way, but I don't want to spend a fortune. So let's say we're paying someone $75 a design for 3 designs. Sounds pretty reasonable, right? Okay, fine. Agency. Spencer, I want an agency, but I just want some guidance. I just want some consultation. I don't want a full agency. I just want someone to mentor me. If you were to come to PSM, we have a mentorship program, nice and easy. And miscellaneous. Spencer, I want to have like $300, just a little bit to spend just in case I run into something or I need more money, right? Okay, pretty different, right? This is a pretty different amount. Now, the quality is going to be here, right? Because we're going to know, all right, we have the money to spend and we can get something out there. We can have a real legitimate launch and we can have something that packs a punch right now. Let's go high tier. Okay, and I'm oversimplifying this kind of on purpose just to give you the picture. So, Spencer, I want to start with 3 shirts. I want to start with 3 hoodies and I want to start with 2 pairs of shorts and a hat, right? Okay, so let's do the math. So we're going to do, let's say, 90 shirts for $12 each. We're going to do 50 hoodies for $25 each. We're going to do 30 hats for $15 each. And so what is that going to come out to? So let's do this times this, boom, autofill. What does this come out to? About 2,700. Let's just call it 2,800, okay? We have a full collection though, right? This is everything that we have for our first launch. We're gonna go super hard. Spencer, I really wanna ring the bell with advertising. I really wanna push it. I wanna get it out there, and I want to be able to last for about 2 months, right? I would say allocate around $2,000 to advertising, okay? Content. Spencer, I want a real professional photo shoot. I want to get the best studio. I want to get the best photographers, the best models. Probably on about 2,500, right? For an amazing bomb photo shoot that's really out there, right? Shopify is going to be the same design. Spencer, I want a real designer. I want to do about 5 designs for about, let's get a really high-end designer. Let's get like $100 per design guy. It's going to be worth it. Okay. Agency, Spencer, I want someone to really run the ads for me. I really want someone to manage it. I want them to do all my emails and my SMS and everything. I want them to really run the show, and I want my launch to be a huge success. Okay, let's say for 2 months, I don't know, I'll just make up the price, okay? Miscellaneous, Spencer, I want to have about $500 sitting around just to make sure that I have enough so that if I run out, right, I can spend. Pretty big differences. Now, the reason I went so extreme is because maybe you want this, but this, right? Or maybe there's a combination of these, right? And so in terms of the tiers, right, it's really to help you understand kind of what you need. So for me personally, what I would do is I always say, go hard or go home. That's just me. Now, some people, you might not have $11,000 to spend on your brand. That's a very normal thing. I didn't have $11,000 when I first started, so I wouldn't really expect you to. Now, what I would say is, Spencer, what's your recommended budget? What's really going to get me results? And here's what I would say. Here's the honest truth. I would say Spencer's estimate, right? And I'm being biased here because this is what I did. Inventory, I would say have about $1,500, right? Get inventory, don't do POD. Advertising, I would say have about, to start, you'll reinvest your profits, okay? We're not buying a Bugatti after our first sale, okay? That's very important. I would say have about $1,500 to spend, okay? Content, I'm a big proponent of doing a big shoot. I would say stick to that. LLC, Shopify, designs, I would say somewhere in the middle. I would say about $225. I like that middle tier for me personally. Agency, depending if you're doing all of this, right? If you're already spending $6,000, what's another $3,000? However, I would, start a little more conservatively. Oh my goodness. And let's say I would start at a $1,500 a month plan. Miscellaneous, I actually think it's okay to not have a lot left over. And what's that going to come out to? Around $7,000. I would say if you can have, actually, let's just make it an even number here. Or I can't do math, but that's okay. Yay. Sorry, excuse me. So again, $8,000 is a lot of money. I get it. Now let's say, Spencer, I'm a bomb photographer. I'm amazing. I don't need that. Great. Your price is now lowered. So if you have, really any of these amounts can work. It just depends what your goals are. If you're looking to say, Spencer, I want to do 10K in my first month, and you have a low tier budget, it's not going to happen. It's not realistic, right? You can eventually get there, but you are going to need capital for your business. And the main things you're going to need it for are advertising, designs. Unless you're a great designer, then you won't need it. Advertising is definitely the biggest expense, but you shouldn't advertise until this are all taken care of, especially this. I have brands come to me with no LLC, no trademark, nothing, and you're putting yourself in a bad position. So before really even thinking about starting with any agency or with anything, I would say you need this LLC, right? Now, if you're in month 2 and you're waiting for it, that's fine, but I would say before you start advertising, get it, because you need to run a legitimate business. We're not money laundering. We're not, having a shack out back. We need a real business. And so this is kind of what I would say typically. The more you have, the better. Obviously, not everyone has access to this. I didn't at first. So I won't blame you if you didn't. But I would definitely say be prepared to spend, because it is an investment in your business, right? You are going to invest in your brand. Now, let's move on to Shopify Capital. Okay, so what does this mean? Now, depending on how much you're doing in sales, you're going to get offers. So you will not get an offer to start. Again, you need to spend money to make money. I know it's annoying and stupid, but it's not. It's an investment in you and in your business, and it's one that you should take. So what you'll do here is Shopify Capital will offer you options based on your sales. And again, so they'll give you basically what you're going to do, right? Flexible repayment. You can schedule a call with them. Shopify Capital, here's what I'll say about this. I would only do Shopify Capital if there are no other options. If you cannot save from your salary, if you cannot get a bank loan, if you cannot get friends and family funding, if you cannot get 8-fig, well, actually don't do 8-fig, then Shopify Capital, again, makes sense, okay? If there is no other way, Shopify Capital is fine. If there is no other way, okay? And you can apply to these different amounts. I would always start with the smallest amount. I know, no, go big or go home. Start with the smallest amount and work your way up, okay? Because that is going to put you in a position where you can actually, get what you're looking for, and you can actually get something that that makes sense. Now, in terms of financial management, I would have a spreadsheet. I would also sign up for QuickBooks. Very easy to start an account. It's about $30 a month. Again, I would do it. Just, you want to be a legitimate business. You don't want to be, shoestring, scratch paper, keeping track of your finances. Because what's going to happen is you're going to do well. You're going to start succeeding, and then you're in trouble, right? We don't want that. We want to prepare for success. We want to prepare for achieving what we want. We don't want to prepare for failure, because guess what? The universe will reward us. They will say, oh, you're preparing for failure? No problem. Here you go. We are going to prepare for success. And I'm not going to get into the mindset. That's a different chapter. But essentially, this is what I would do in terms of planning, budgeting. It does cost money to start a brand, and the more you have, the better. I'm not saying we need 20 grand or even 10 grand or even 5 grand, right? But you do need to have enough to start. Friends and family is, of course, the best way, because then it's none of our own money. Sometimes you might need to bootstrap it. There's a number of ways to go about it, but the biggest thing is keep track of your finances. Come up with a business bank account. Usually Chase has really good offers. Have a business credit card, because you will be able to write that off. Separate your money, your personal versus your business money. Have a business bank account. I cannot stress how important this is. I know I'm saving this to the end of the video. It is so important, because what you don't want to do is fund your business and then not be able to write it off because you didn't have a bank account, right? You don't want that. You want to save on taxes. Trust me, I don't like paying taxes either. We got to do it. But I would say focus on that. So thank you guys for watching. And if you need help with financial management, again, we're a marketing agency, media agency, not really a financial agency. However, I do have resources that can help if you need accountants, if you need bookkeepers, if you need any of that stuff, and you can't do it on your own and you need extra help. Happy to help, happy to allocate those resources to you as well. Feel free to contact us. Thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to you seeing the next section.